to work now. Oh!
Hey everybody, it's Durger time. Welcome to another episode of Total Extreme Wrestling 2016 Billy Corgan's NWA. And we are here after a kind of a lackluster NWA Power. I'm hoping to reclaim some of our lost glory, because boy, that was a stinker if I ever saw one. But we can move on. We do have a pay-per-view coming up in just a few days. Well, actually more like a week or so. So let's go ahead and let's fast forward to the next episode of Power, and hopefully we can book something a little bit better leading up to Into the Fire. Well, we got stopped here for what? Oh, right. So we did try to bring these two in, and I think we will. Actually, let's set them to Women's Division. Perfect. Okay. I think that'll be a good shot in the arm for us in that area. And I don't think it's going to be too financially burdensome. So I think it was a good pick for us. Regional battle results. 12th of the 14 is not bad for Great Lakes. 10th in Southwest. 12th of the 13th in Tri-State. Last in Puerto Rico. Last in Hawaii. Matt last in the Midwest. Finished 11th out of 14th in Southeast. Interesting division split here. Oh, God. What did you do? Tim Storm. Christ. Even on a different save, I'm not... Alright, it's only 3 days. It's only 3 days. You could be off the show for one day. Actually, probably could keep you in a cast, but... You know, for those that haven't seen maybe the first seasons or so, injuries like to pop up on me pretty frequently, to the point where it almost has become kind of a running meme, that pretty much any of my title holders will get seriously injured through not my own fault. So maybe that's the beginning signs of more problems there. Actually, he's only got a contusion. He should still be able to work. I don't know how he got that. He doesn't wrestle anywhere else, but whatever. We do have Eddie Edwards for one appearance for his title championship. I think that's might be the focus of Power tonight, might be playing up the alliance a little bit. Could be kind of fun. Let's go ahead and get to the booking. Now, last time we had a pretty bad backstage issue with Eddie Kingston, and hopefully we don't have another one. It doesn't seem like it. Marty Bell, what's going on? Marty Bell's got a lot of heat with the rest of the locker room for her selfish behavior. Slap on the wrist is fine. Not really that big of an issue. We are still trying to build a relationship. I think I would like it with Nick Aldis. No effect. We'll get there one day. Nobody has a negative relationship right now, which is good. We do have some negative factors, but there are some fights with Latimer. Eddie Kingston showing up high, but nothing else. Oh, Eddie Edwards is never available tonight, is he? Like, is he just not available on Tuesdays? That's not very helpful at all. Does Impact run Tuesdays? In which case he'll never actually be available for us. Man. Well, that's kind of garbage. That's real garbage. You'd think if you borrowed them, you would have them, but apparently not. Alright, that's annoying. Well, that kind of puts a hamper in the plans for that, but we can move on. We have plenty of other storylines to deal with. So, and one of the complaints that has been going on from our ratings was that there's not enough interesting storylines going on. I think we need two storylines with more than 41 heat. Right now we have one with 27, one with 37, and a bunch of none. So we need the Tim Storm, all this storyline to heat up. Pillman, we have a lot that we need to build on, and we need them up high enough or else people are going to lose interest. So that will be the focus tonight, is maybe to start to kickstart some of these storylines and move them up into some hotter angles here. All right, so let's book it. Alrighty, guys, we're back. We're running full 65 minutes. So we went a little bit over 60 minutes, but I think we need it, as well as a couple pre-shows just to test some stuff out. So let's go ahead and get on with the NWA Power Show. So we start off, actually the pre-show match. I wanted to see what Latimer could do, if we have anybody, what his chemistry was. So I put him with Nick Aldis just to see what would happen. Latimer's got a 41, and Aldis has a 51. Like, he's pretty good. He's better than what his tag team deserves, to be honest. And I kind of wanted to play around with him, see what we kind of got. No chemistry there. But we know we get some pretty consistent booking out of him. I think we need to break him up with his tag team. Same thing, I wanted to test out Nicole Matthews, see how she does. Got a good reveal with her gimmick, got a very good. Did pretty okay. She has a 40. Thunder Rosa had a 31. So, not too bad of a match. She goes over. Thunder Rosa takes the pin. And it's not bad. So 40 is workable. I think it's better than what we were looking at before in terms of our women's division. So that's not too shabby. We start the show with a very, very short match. It's Colt Cabana versus Ricky Starks in 4 minutes. Colt Cabana ends up winning by submission, gets an inverted Boston Crab, gets the show off with a strong start. Ricky Starks has a 20. Colt Cabana has a 47. Ricky Starks is very undervalued in here. Though I haven't seen him wrestle a lot, so it might not actually be that far off. But obviously, Cabana's got a much stronger in-ring performance for us. Overall, though, 37 D- is not bad to start a show off with. Afterwards, wow, this is actually really good. We have a segment there where after the match, the Colt emerges and surrounds surrounds Cabana. So we have Colt Cabana in the middle of the ring, and we have Jocephus in his robe with the Ascension surrounding Cabana. And, of course, Jocephus ends up attacking Cabana and lays him out, ends up attacking him on the ground. Jocephus debuts his Acolyte gimmick, his new gimmick. It gets a very good rating, which is great. We start the segment of rebuilding the Cult of Jocephus, and it gets a C-. It's not bad. And we follow up with that. It doesn't do as bad. I tweaked Josephus's ratings a little bit, and this seems probably about right. I feel like I might need to tweak him a little bit more. I feel like in promos, I should be seeing like a C- from him. But, what are you going to do? Jocephus grabs a microphone and starts ranting to the audience. The Ascension holds Cabana up with his arms outstretched in a crucifix position, holding him above Jocephus. And Jocephus takes out a large, ancient-looking tome and then opens it up. And he says to the crowd, a sermon from the Book of Josephus, 4:14. Yes, Josephus now seems to have his own religion instead of just a cult. And behold, he sermonizes, and know thy truth. Beware of the jesters. They are only cowards who hide behind laughter to disguise their lies. Their weakness is an infection that will strip away the sincerity of intent and twist it in their image. They are false prophets, and all false prophets must be vanquished. So it is written, and so it will be done. Josephus turns around, goes and shuts the book, looks to Ascension, and gives a thumbs down. And with that thumbs down, they crash Cabana down to the mat with a double crucifix powerbomb and lays him out. And they disappear. They have advanced the storyline with the Cult Josephus storyline with this segment. And it seems now that Josephus I guess, now has a new clarity. Somehow he has his book. Perhaps he wrote it. Perhaps it was divine to him. But he seems to be going around sermonizing now and attacking specific people that he has determined are, I guess, maybe immoral or unjust, to try to prove to people, I guess, the truth that he has to speak. Kind of an interesting dynamic with him. It gets a D, 44. It's not bad. Another not bad match. We have a decent match with Sasha Banks afterwards against a debuting Madison Eagle. It's a 5-minute, very short match. Sasha Banks gets some rope leverage after Madison Eagle kind of takes her a little bit further than I think she would have realized, and actually was showing some competition. But ultimately, Sasha kind of steals a win really quick. Madison Eagle gets an egomaniac, very good debut. Got the crowd buzzing. Crowd loved it. Sasha had a 50. Madison had a 45. And Sasha is improving her skills. So we know they can go together. It's not too bad. Definitely going to be probably our number one competitor, especially based on the in-ring performance, and gave us a pretty decent review, our rating here. We have another promo. It doesn't do as well, but it's okay. We have David Marquez backstage, or in his promo area, and Aldis goes to the commentary booth with David Marquez to get interviewed about last week. And he says, so here we are. And so he goes, and here we are with the challenger, Nick Aldis. Nick, how are you feeling after your loss last week? And he goes, David, I feel sick. Sick and tired of the scum like Tim Storm that are in NWA, who get to snake their way to the top just because they're friends with a rich little boy in the back. NWA World's Heavyweight Championship around his belt was never a contest about knowing the most people or politicking backstage the best. It was about who is the best wrestler in the world, and I am the best wrestler in the world. I don't need to hide behind paid thugs to prove my point. I just need 3 seconds in that ring. I've asked in the back for another shot, and they told me I need to move to the back of the line. So here's what I'll do. I'll issue some stakes in this challenge. I want a rematch, Tim Storm. In a cage. No friends to come to save you. And if I lose, I won't ever challenge for the title again. David pipes in, well, I guess we'll have to wait to hear if the champion accepts. So we have a waiting challenge here that if Tim Storm does accept, Nick Aldis's championship shot in perpetuity will be on the line. If he loses, he will not be able to ever challenge again, unless something weird happens. Got the crowd hotter. We'd advance the quest to reclaim the belt storyline. Pretty good overall. A little underperforming here in terms of the rating, but not bad. This didn't do well. We have a quick announcement from Pulping George, and he announces that a Founders Medallion match will be tonight by challengers that he picked in a triple threat. And we have that match. It's his one of his champions, Icarus, who's still the Carl's Jr. Presents North American champion. And he comes out with his belt. We have Brodie Lee, the new hire who has come to the indie circuit from WWE, and Caleb Conley. It's an extremely short match. Because before even Icarus could get much offense in, Brodie Lee ends up defeating both of them after Brodie Lee throws him outside and ends up defeating him with a running big boot. Actually, this should have been Caleb Conley. I guess I didn't set it right, but I made a triple threat so that Icarus didn't take the pin, but I guess I screwed that up. Or maybe they called it on the fly. Let's just say that. That's my policy. Anytime I screw up the booking, it wasn't me. They just went into business on their own. Okay? Everyone agree with that? Cool. We'll go with that excuse from now on. It's a good match. It's short. It actually does pretty well. D+, considering who's in it. It's actually pretty impressive. Everyone, Connolly seemed a little off, got the crowd buzzing. Icarus had a 33, which is not great, but Brodie had a 62. He might be the best wrestler we have on the roster, honestly. And Cable Connolly has a 36. We start the Brodie Unhinged storyline, and I think it's going to probably be one of our better ones. And thus he wins one of the medallions. Afterwards, Paul Pinky George comes out to hand him one of the 5 medallions for the Founders Championship. If he reclaims all 5, he will become the Founders Champion and have a shot at any title he wishes, anywhere, anytime. So he says, with this, you are now 1/5 of the way to glory. He hands it to him, but while he hands it to him, he doesn't let it go. He kind of holds it and kind of pulls him in a little bit closer. He says, but I have an offer for you, Mr. Lee. I know you have issues with authority, but I see value in you. Work with me, not against me. Join us, and I will give you all the opportunities you weren't offered in your old place of employment. What do you say? Brodie looks at him, smiles, says something off mic that he can't hear, takes the medallion, and while it looks like an agreement, he ends up backstabbing George by kicking him in the lower gut, right in the abdomen, and gives him a quick DDT on the mat. Crowd pops crazy as Paul Pinky George finally gets attacked and goes down. But before Brodie can even react, Icarus is right behind him and ends up smashing him in the back of the head with the North American title and then ends up leveling him out. Icarus then grabs Pinky, helps him up, and they limp backstage. So we kind of set up a little bit of an anti-authority angle where Brodie Lee seems to have what could have been a good alliance with him, has decided to go his own way, say F authority, and has now made enemies with both Icarus and Paul Pinky George. We actually lost heat with Brodie's storyline, unfortunately. That's a kind of a bummer. But overall, I think we're starting an interesting storyline there. We have a match between the Ascension versus the Von Erichs. Boy, this is a bad one. Holy crap. It's extremely short, though, where the Ascension essentially squashed Von Erichs in 3 minutes, where Connor defeated Ross when pinfall. Got the crowd buzzing again. The crowd is dying out there, though. I tell you, it's not doing good. Oh man, we're in the wrong territory too. I just noticed that we, for some reason, are set in the Mid-Atlantic. That's not good. I guess we went on the road. So, man, bummer. This did not go well. Crowd clearly didn't like being the overbooked nature of the match. It was just a little too much mayhem. We do advance 2 storylines, though. We advance the Von Erichs return to NWA, and NWA Tag Team Heats Up starts. Connor's improving in Rumble. This is a bad match, though, man. Whoa. Real bad. Better segment afterwards, though. After the Ascension kind of ran roughshod on the Von Erichs, another tag team comes out, kind of doing it's Eddie Kingston and Homicide, and they're kind of doing that thing of like, yo, we can fight you kind of thing. But instead of just staring at them, the Ascension just immediately jump over the ropes in the ring, and attack them. And it ends up leading to pretty much all of the tag teams out there fighting. PCO and Brody King come out, War Machine come out. Everyone is attacking each other. It's just pure chaos, and the entire back room basically has to come out to pull everybody apart. And it gains heat. It does really well. It kind of shows the division literally heating up and kind of starting to come to a boil as all these tag teams are now at each other's throats very quickly. We have a match between Brian Pillman and Marty Scurll. It's a decent match. Marty Scurll defeats Pillman in 6 minutes by pinfall after distraction from PCO. Not much to say. Pillman had a 53. Skrull had a 45. We start the Pillman runs into a villain storyline. As you said, I was going to be putting a lot of different stories out there, see what sticks, and hopefully some of these provide some value to us. Gets a 48. It's actually not that bad, considering where they are. I think given enough time, we could probably get these matches up to like a 55. And in the main event, we have Eli Drake and James Storm in an exhibition match. It does okay, 51. Not much to say about it. Just giving both of them something to do because they weren't on the last show. And, Eli Drake ends up defeating James Storm in 7 minutes with a gravy train. I kind of feel bad. I don't really have any storylines for them. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with them going forward. But right now, they're kind of just there. But we'll have something for them soon. It did pretty well. We have our penalties, but overall, 43 is definitely a huge improvement for where we were. Appeared worse, blah, blah, blah. It did increase our popularity 18 regions. Unfortunately, we went into Mid-Atlantic, which I don't know why we were set there. I thought we were exclusively set in Southeast. I wasn't paying attention. So we kind of undersold a location. But, there's worse problems, I suppose. Yeah, definitely a gaffe there that we shouldn't have done. But YouTube's still unhappy. I don't know what to say. And Mr. Anderson has problems with Hansen, interestingly enough. But, I think overall that was a pretty good show, actually. Better than we've done in the past, I'm pretty sure. If we look at our past shows, let's go down to NWA. And actually, I just want results. Let's see. Oh, I can't look at it easily. But what was our last show? It was 2,000 fans, a E, a D minus, E, and a D minus. So we're still kind of there. We moved up. It's a D. So a better show than we've had in the past for certain. Definitely a gaffe there by putting us in the wrong location, unfortunately. I just was not paying attention. And I may have to change that. Let me do that now. Normally I do this off camera, but I just want to make sure that I could have swore we were set for only being in Southeast because we have that one location. So I'm not sure what had happened there at all. Very odd. I might not be able to actually change where we are on the television show order. I don't know. Weird. Change schedule, show order. Might have to do it through broadcasting, maybe. TV controls. Edit details. Interesting. I'm not sure. That's a weird one. I'm not really sure why we are doing that. Now, we still have a problem with Eddie Edwards cannot actually apparently wrestle on one of these nights. I don't know what to do there. Can I see schedule? I want to see open calendar. What are we looking at here? Why can't you Impact every night? Cool. Very helpful. I appreciate that a lot. Week 2. Well, you know what? We will have hard time? No, Into the Fire happens on Sunday. We'll just have him wrestle that match on Sunday. We'll just have to keep in mind that Impact's running the same night, and apparently, despite having a talent trade, that doesn't mean anything because he still has to wrestle there, which is stupid. But I guess that is what it is. It's funny that Sasha got priority work there on our night, but we can't have priority for the person that we took. Whatever. I'm not mad about it. But anyways, guys, that was a pretty damn good show of Power. I'm looking forward to getting to Into the Fire, which we'll be getting to very shortly. We have one more episode of Power before our pay-per-view. Actually, before we go, let's look at our storylines that we have built up. Doing better for some of these. 43 with Pillman, 42 with Brodie, 47 with the Cult, 33 with the tag division, 37 with Von Erichs, and a 27 with our women's division, Sasha Banks story. Overall, though, not horrendous, and I feel like this we could move up pretty quickly if we needed to. My short terms is I think I'm going to have Brodie go for the North American title and try to bring that maybe a little more prestige. It has a C right now, but I think we could probably boost it up a little bit more. We will have to see how that goes, but I think that could be interesting. All right, guys, thank you for joining me again today. I will see you next time.